Hello and welcome to Lifetime Uncorked, the show where we talk about your favorite made-for-TV movies. I am your host, Patrick Serrano, and today we are talking... today my guests are...
Kathleen!
And Olivia.
And Olivia! Sorry, I forgot to say that part where we say our names. Yes, Olivia, welcome to the show. So fun. And you, again, aren't a normal person. You're a Lifetime movie star. How exciting.
Very exciting, and thank you for having me. I'm very excited to talk to you guys.
And we say we don't do these interviews often, but they are becoming more frequent, which is so fun.
What a thrill.
What a thrill. People want to talk to us. That's so funny. But Olivia, this isn't your first Lifetime movie, right? You have been in some in the past, and this is your first, starring role. Is that correct?
So this is my first lead. Yes, you're right. This is my first lead. In order of filming, this was the third one I filmed. I had a very small role in another one that filmed 2 or 3 months ago. But my little fun fact, one of my very first jobs when I moved out to LA 5 years ago was as like a featured extra on a Lifetime film. And I absolutely loved it. It was so much fun. Everyone was so kind and so cool. And then 5 years later, I got my own. And I was like, that's a good moment.
That's awesome.
It's like up, 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 up. Like Olivia, like killing it. We didn't mention the title of your Lifetime movie where you're the principal lead. What is that movie called?
Her Fiance's Double Life, or Falling for a Killer. There's 2 titles.
Oh, okay. Because it does definitely open with a woman falling down an elevator shaft. And I really enjoy that double play on words.
Oh, yeah. We love the double play. Why? Do you know why the name was changed?
I don't know actually. The working title when we were filming was Psycho Fiance, which I loved.
Yes.
Yeah. And then it became Her Fiance's Double Life. And then right before it was released, they changed it to Falling for a Killer. And I don't know if it's because it's now on Hulu. So I don't know if it's like a Hulu title and then a Lifetime title. I'm not really sure.
Interesting.
They're fun titles.
Yeah, or maybe like in Canada, it's like Falling for whatever. You know what I mean? Like
Maybe.
Internationally, it's known as one thing, and then in the States, it's something else.
Yep.
I also wonder how Lifetime doesn't double up on, because their movies are so similar, it's always like how many, like, a cheerleader with a secret. Or like a secretive cheerleader. She's got pep and a secret. Like there's only like so many.
Oh yeah.
It's true. There definitely is there's her husband's double life, his wife's double life. Like there's a bunch of them. It's great.
Well, and this is why I can never remember the titles of any movie, even after I've watched it. Like, I'm like, wait, yeah. What's the movie we're talking about today? We did do a recap of this movie on the podcast. So, Kathleen, I know you have seen the movie. Do you need a refresher on what happened? How were we feeling?
I think I'm okay. I have my notes.
Okay, great.
I think I'm it's fresh in my brain from Saturday night.
Perfect. If you're listening and you're like, oh, Olivia sounds great, but I didn't watch the movie, just listen to the episode we did where we covered it in detail with the boys from the Deck the Hallmark. And they loved it, or only one of them actually watched it, Olivia. So he loved it, Bran. And I also was a big fan.
I loved it
Kathleen, what were your thoughts on the movie?
I loved it so much. I love that because I feel like in this type of insert man with double life story, we're usually coming at it from the fiance's point of view or the wife's point of view or the girlfriend's point of view, and like at the end she finally sees all the red flags and surprise, he's gonna kill you, but not before explaining why. But I feel like with this movie to be from the perspective of the sister, and like, you know, the outsider of the relationship who's like, wait a second, my sister's fiance really sucks a lot. Like, because everyone has at least had a friend with a terrible partner or a terrible boyfriend or a terrible whatever, let alone a sibling.
Totally.
Oh, especially there's a scene where you meet him for the first time and you're like, your parents, your character parents in this movie are literally the worst. I want to know where they were on January 6th. Like, I've got a lot of questions about these parents. But you're sitting in their fancy backyard, and he is absolutely already wildly unhinged. And your face, like,
Yes.
looking at him, is like, what the heck? Like, who? What? And it's just like, we've all been the friend making that face. And
Totally.
that's like the ethos of the whole movie.
It really is. I was joking at one point when we were filming it. I was like, I feel like this whole time I just have this like look on my face of like, what is going on? And it doesn't leave, but it was so much fun. And you like you pull from real life because you're so right. We all have that friend. I don't have any siblings really, but we all have that friend that had that relationship and you're like, "Oh god," the
Yeah.
whole time. So it yes, definitely drew from real life there.
Yeah, that face looked like a real face.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about that scene in particular in the backyard because that's where we meet your character Olivia, and she's the sister coming in, right? She's kind of like older than the girl who's getting married, and they're everyone thinks like she's jealous, but she's not really jealous, right? She's concerned for her sister. It's coming from a genuine place, and in that scene, it seemed like there was a lot of like improv. Was that scene scripted the way that it was shot, or was it kind of come together on set?
It for the most part, it was shot as it was scripted. The bit we played around with or the guys played around with the whole, like, say safety school one more time and, like, the whole little punching thing.
Yeah.
That was brought together while we were setting up the shot and the guys were kind of figuring out how they would play that scene out in a way that was, like, authentic for them. And so that was like, Jonathan getting up and coming over to dad and like giving him the little punch and like dad falling over on mom with mom's like holding her Bloody Mary, trying not to spill it. Yeah, that was all quite just within the building of it while we were there.
Iconic, iconic, really.
It was great. It was so great. And how he like go pushes past me and I'm like, what is happening? It's really, really fun.
It seemed like all the actors on this film, specifically in the family setting, seemed like very game
Yeah.
to just kind of play around and like have fun.
Yes.
So, was that the environment with the crew, with the cast? I mean,
Yes, totally. There was a bit of crossover, like Jonathan and Aubrey, who played my sister. They had worked together previously, so they had that camaraderie already. Um, the mom and dad, they're just wonderful, and dad, Mike Gasaway, he works constantly. I mean that guy is always working on something. Everyone was just like super game, like you said, super game to play and to riff off of each other. And I feel like we all had a really great, like, kind of work relationship with one another because it was also shot in South Carolina. So we're all there together, like staying in a hotel or, we're together so often that I think that it kind of built that relationship. And for me, when I was watching it, I definitely felt it. I just having those little moments, I could see it. Uh, so I think that that lends itself to us all just being game for anything.
so you're saying it was basically like Dawson's Creek when they all were like stuck in North Carolina for 4 years.
Basically, yes.
Got it. What was it like for you being like, this is like your first lifetime leading role. I know you've done leading roles in other films. Were you intimidated? I mean, you were working with some pretty like heavy hitters at Lifetime. We'll get to Lindsay later. But what was it like for you coming in being the newbie?
Um, I was nervous. I was really, really nervous. I think it took me a couple of days to kind of shake away my own little voices, of self-doubt, which is very natural for artists and all that, as you're working through new projects. I have to say Jonathan and Aubrey, who are like absolute lifetime legends,
Oh yeah.
they really helped me through it because they were having so much fun and they were so relaxed and they would ask a lot of questions, just having that be around me really, really helped as well. And the whole experience was just fantastic. It was so much fun for me. But yeah, I felt it the first couple days. It's like, you can do this. You can do
And you
this.
did. You
Yeah.
did do it. You
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 did
you nailed
it.
it. We were like, oh
Yeah.
man, Olivia, she's good.
Yeah.
She
Oh,
she
thank
she
you.
knows what she's doing in a Lifetime movie, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was surprised when we talked to Joy, she was saying how quickly it was filmed. How long did it take to film this movie? Or I guess how quick was it?
I think it was 13, 12 or 13 film days. I
Wow.
was gone for just about 3 weeks, a couple days to kind of get acclimated into the city and do like costume fittings and that kind of thing. And then I think it was, yeah, 12, 13 film
Wow.
days. And they're packed. And like Joy said too, in her interview, it's like 1, 2 shots or 1, 2 takes, next shot, 1, 2 takes, next shot. Like it is
Wow.
just, which is great. It's a huge challenge because you have to come prepared. Like you have to know, there's no time for if you mess up a line, you do it again, or like there's no time for that. So you have to come really, really prepared, which is a great challenge as an actor. It's just being so focused and so ready for every single shot that you're about to do and finding the emotion very quickly and all of that.
Wow.
It's great.
And I would imagine too, like there was a lot of running around and there you got shot. Like there were like some stunt work in there. What was getting shot like? Like how lots of running down
Well,
corridors, lots of shoving, lots of like fighting. Like how did that all work, especially on such a tight
yes.
timeline?
Oh gosh, that stuff is so much fun. That is my very first, like my segue into film and television. My whole background is a dancer. I was a professional dancer for
Cool.
years. And my segue into film and television was working for a year as like a semi stunt woman, so doing fighting. I love doing fight scenes. They're so much fun for me. So for the shot, I wasn't, that was CGI. So I didn't actually get shot. It was more the crash pad was there and somebody says
Uh,
bang and I and I react.
yeah.
This fight scene with Jonathan and I with my field hockey stick. We have a few different versions of a field hockey stick that are made
Oh,
of foam.
cool.
The goal is not to hit him, obviously, it's all the camera angles. But just in case there's contact, it's foam. So in theory, it shouldn't hurt him. But all that stuff is so much fun. But again, it's like just knowing exactly the marks and the angles and rehearsing it back to back multiple times. So then when you shoot it, it's like you have it quickly. But those scenes will always take a little bit longer to film. You always have to allocate just a little bit of extra time. You have to get them
Wow.
perfect,
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's scary. That's so scary to have to do that.
That is scary. And like that's interesting that the lacrosse stick was foam because I feel like what my number one complaints for Hallmark movies, we're not going to bring Lifetime into this,
Mm.
but for Hallmark is all of the empty coffee cups that you can tell are just empty, like just swinging around, and
Oh my
like
gosh.
you could just tell there's no weight in that. So like you could not tell that this lacrosse, like it felt like it had the heft of a real lacrosse stick.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Yes, good. Yeah, that's so funny. That's my husband's biggest pet peeve is the empty coffee cup when
Yeah.
someone's running and they've got the coffee cup. And he's like, the coffee does not stay in that.
Like, just put water in it. Somebody get
Right?
my
Just the
note
water
to
in it.
Hallmark. Oh, the other thing I thought that was so cool about this movie is one of the characters was deaf and used ASL, and you got to do a lot of signing back because you were the only person compassionate enough in that family to learn it, to speak to a woman who worked for your family for, I don't know, 30 years. And
Right. What was that?
and like, what was that like learning ASL for portions of this film?
So it was so cool. I was so happy that I got to do that because that's so rare.
Yeah.
So the writer, Jay Black, his wife has family members who are deaf or hard of hearing. So she speaks ASL fluently. He does too, well, not as well as she does, but what they did is they filmed videos of her signing all of my lines. So I learned from her, which was very cool. It for me as a dancer, it felt like a little dance. So it became this like,
Yeah, like choreography.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, which was really cool. And the woman who played Christina Hadassah, she was super helpful as well because I would then ask her, what is this making sense to you? Do you want me to phrase it in a different way? Like, so she helped me a bit with that. And there were some other moments in the filming that I wasn't scripted. Like when she's on the ground having her seizure,
Yeah.
I said to her, what would I sign to you if you were in this situation? And so she taught me what it was because I didn't have anything scripted there. So it was cool to learn from her and for her to be a part of it. Like she's a really beautiful person.
Yeah.
So it was really fun. Very cool.
Yeah, it was really as soon as like because she was in one of the first scenes like as you pull up
Hmm.
to the
Mhm.
house, and Lifetime is always I feel like so thoughtful about like nothing is left unused in a movie, so it's like oh this is gonna come back. There's gonna be some reason, like it was just, and it was I just thought it was thoughtful. I mean I'm not a member of the hard of hearing
Mhm.
deaf community, so I certainly can't speak for them, but I thought it was just a thoughtful and unique use of sign language in a movie.
I totally agree. And I really I really hope that more of this
Yeah.
comes around too because she was just so professional and talented and how wonderful to have that be a part of the film. I thought that was just such great writing and on Jay's part. And I also really liked how they with the editing, because a lot of this I don't know what they're going to do with it until I actually see it too. But with the editing, when they changed the sound every time there was a conversation
Yes.
for her,
I noticed that
hmm
too.
which was very, very cool. I
Yeah.
liked that element.
Well, because we love representation, of course, when we talk about that on the podcast.
Hmm.
Was that so? That all was in the script when you received the script. All the hearing impaired stuff was in there as well.
Yeah, so in the script it will say, like in parentheses, it will say, uh, this will all be signed. So I
Yeah.
knew going in. Um, and then they sent me all the videos to go along with it. So I was learning the videos on the
Oh
plane.
wow. Okay.
So I
Cool.
was flying to
And it
South
was just
Carolina.
it was cool again too how like we talked to Joya and she's so into the body positivity movie, body neutrality, all of that, and her character had nothing to do with her size. She was just representing people of size in a movie, and yes, they used the sign language in the plot of the film, but her character didn't have to be part of it. Like it wasn't. Her character
Mhm.
wasn't about the fact that she couldn't hear. Her character was that she had worked for this family for a long time and the parents sucked.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
her character was just like a really sweet woman, and which is why I was shocked when she was almost thank God spoiler that everyone's seen it, that's why you're watching it. But when
They've seen it. Yeah.
because I literally had a tally of that because it felt like a high body count in this movie, although it ended up just being two.
It feels like a lot more.
Yeah, I was like, not her. I was certainly expecting the parents to die. And they did it. And I was like, the nicest person in this cast.
Yeah.
These characters.
Yeah.
That.
I'm so with you. When I was reading the script for the first time, I was like, oh hell no, she cannot die in this.
I
She's too
know.
good.
Well, and your character too, Olivia, gets shot, and we get. I truly thought your character was dead. I'm like, dang, they killed the leading lady. What? So that was wild. So when you received the script, did you know it was going to be a Lifetime movie, or was it just a movie that you were you offered this role? I guess I don't know. How did that whole process happen?
Yeah, I didn't know when I booked the role. I auditioned for this. I went through a couple of auditions for this. Um and I had just come off of doing another made for TV film which was a big Lifetime crew. And it was the same casting director that brought me in. So because of that, I had an inkling that it was for Lifetime, but I wasn't 100% sure until I like talked to my agent later on and she was like, "Yeah, this is going to be a life because it comes up as like a made for TV film."
Hmm.
That's the information that I have until booking the role and then learning more. So after that, and I think through the audition process I actually got the whole script, which whenever I that happens, which isn't always, I always love to read the whole script, so I just understand a little bit more about what's going on, and I just love reading scripts, it's so much fun. So, so I knew the idea of it, and I saw, like, how dramatic it was, and I was like, "Oh, I think this might be Lifetime," but yeah, I got the confirmation after I booked the job before leaving.
Cool. Knowing that it's a Lifetime or suspecting it's a Lifetime, does that affect how you're gonna approach the role as opposed to another network or another movie?
A little bit. I think the context of any project that you're doing, if you've got like a low budget indie film or if it's like a film noir, I think Lifetime definitely has its style of drama, in the same way that other styles of film do too. So it does and it doesn't. It's still an authentic person that is still going through this heightened situation, and she's got her mission and she's got to do what she's got to do. And they're all, this is real. This is her reality. So that doesn't change. I think it's more understanding, like, in a way like how it will be filmed, sometimes finding a little bit more height in the drama, and that kind of thing that sort of changes.
That's so cool. Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about all these Lifetime movies is like you realize everyone is acting at the top of their ability. The thing that makes it like a Lifetime is just that like little bit of camp
Yes.
that comes with like the sound effects, with some of the writing, with some like there's the just sort of the ridiculousness of the situations, but they're actually not that ridiculous.
They're not.
Like people like if we've learned anything from movies or from like Lifetime, it's like a woman's greatest threat is literally the guy right next to her. Like
Yes.
you are most likely to be murdered by your spouse.
Yes.
Like that's just a fact of Lifetime. And it is people, yeah, the actors are always going at the top of their abilities, but then you'll get this crazy monologue about why this person is getting killed, and the sound effects and all the things that give it that little edge of camp
Yes.
that we love.
We love, and that's why we love movies too. Like that's why I love
Yeah.
film. It's just so much fun. But and yeah, I think you're exactly right. That's the element that Lifetime has really done very well too. I mean, we love going back to those movies. It's so much fun.
I've been listening to You Must Remember This. Do you guys know that podcast? You Must Remember This. It's Karina Longworth. It's about like the first century of Hollywood, and right now they're doing '90s like Fatal Attraction type of movies and how that affected the movies things. And it's like very much the baseline of like Lifetime, like the single white females, the stuff like that. So it's been really
Mhm.
interesting to like hear how the mainstream of that and Lifetime was like capitalizing on that and kind of had woven that into their mission statement. So all the
Oh,
it's
interesting.
really
I want to
interesting.
listen to that.
Yeah, check it
Yeah.
out. You must remember this.
Another theme from the movie, I'm looking at my notes, and it is Lifetime Uncorked, so they get slightly messier as because I uncorked and unwrapped a little edible. So,
There you go.
Yeah.
so my handwriting is, but um, the there's a theme of she's just jealous this whole movie because she's the older sister and she's not married.
Rude.
But
So rude.
meanwhile, she's a district attorney. Like she's a very competent woman, which we can tell by her wearing business suits on the beach. Like she
Yes.
is she's got a great life and she's very successful. But the whole theme of the movie is anytime she's like, "Hey, don't you think it's weird that this guy is getting really angry and threatening people?" And they're like, "Oh, you're just jealous because you're old and not married." And like and the dad is like, and she's like, "Hey, yeah, dad, like it's pretty bad that you like can't even say that you're proud of me." And he's like, "Oh, you're just like the theme of jealousy, which is like and it's gaslighting. It's like, "Oh, no, your concerns aren't valid. It must because you're a crazy woman who's jealous."
Yes.
Which was another reason it was so cool to have your perspective be the protagonist of this film as the sister or the friend who's just crazy jealous,
Yes.
and then to have it all validated at the end.
Yes. I'm also always right,
Yes.
apparently. But yeah, I remember just like when I was reading through that too, and then as the actor, I'm like, okay, am I really
Mm.
jealous? Like, am I actually jealous or am I not? And I toyed with both, and I ultimately decided that I am not jealous at all, at all, at all, because like I'm fine. I'm doing really well. And also it's just kind of funny to me like how frustrating that is when everybody keeps saying you're jealous and I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm not. I'm not jealous." It's like so infuriating. Um but yeah, it is quite funny, and I think it kind of lent like to your point too. It is like kind of gaslighting, but it is something that women deal with a lot, is like constantly being pinned against each other to being told that they're jealous of one another, and it's like we're not. And I like how at the end it kind of she comes out on top and there's no grudges. She's not like told you so. Yeah, it is a really interesting theme that goes throughout.
And she gets that promotion at the end too.
Yeah.
And she
Sure
gets
does.
it. She does. Very exciting. I like that part.
Let's talk about the ending really quick before we get to the Lindsay of it all, because I gotta ask. The end is a cliffhanger. We have a sexy, oh man, that man was sexy.
Boy, oh boy, was
A
he.
sexy, what wasn't he though?
Woo.
Goodness. Anyways, that must be so hard to work with all these handsome men all the time, Olivia. I don't know how you do it, but it ends on a cliffhanger. It leaves it open for a part two. So it is there talks about a part two? Have you heard about a part two? Because we're here for it, I think.
I am here for it too. It would be so much fun. I haven't heard anything about it, but maybe we all just need to send in requests
Yeah,
for it
we're starting the campaign
and
right
say,
here.
There,
let's do it.
there you
Because
go.
it would be so much
It
fun.
would be also because, like, I know I keep harping on how terrible these parents were, but like they were also just fun characters. Like
They
they were
really
fun
are.
to hate, and then at the end when they kind of saved the day, at least the dad, and they're like, it does kind of wrap up nicely with like, yeah, we were wrong, my bad. I guess we probably should have listened to you this entire time. Whoops a doodle. And it's like, I would, and now you're like, okay. Oh, yeah. And also, maybe we should be nicer to this woman who's been cleaning our home for 30 years. Okay. And it's like, I would like to see a round two with the whole gang.
The whole gang. Yeah, even bring Jonathan back, like
Yeah.
just for fun. He's out of
Yeah.
Oh
jail.
yeah,
See what happens.
he's like writing his like letters in jail. You
Yeah. Doing
know,
his
it's like
community
he's got pictures
service.
on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a reformed criminal now.
Yeah.
Um, we got ideas. We'll send Jay
Yeah.
some of our ideas.
I'll start working on the
Um,
script.
right there we go. There we go. Kathleen, we'll do an offline meeting
Yeah.
about that.
I'm excited.
So let's talk about the director of the movie, lifetime legend, Lindsay Hartley. They say don't meet your legends. So what was it like meeting a legendary lifetime, not only actress, writer, director, producer, literally does it all. How was it work? How
Everything.
was it working with her?
She she's just so good. I mean, she knows exactly what she wants. She sounds so silly, but she directs very well, and I mean that in like the exact form of the word, directing people and what their tasks are and who needs to be where and what needs to happen and this is their schedule and like we've got to go. And she does it all without compromising her vision. And she also, as an actor, she's so wonderful because she comes in and she can just talk very directly to us, actor to actor, which is great because it helps her get the shot that she needs right away. And she's just so cool. Like she's the epitome of cool and respected on set by everybody. You can just feel her lifetime of experience. Oh, I have a little play on words there, didn't
Hey,
I?
that's that we like that. We like that.
We're here for it.
Well, and Lifetime is very vocal about putting females in positions of power, also giving them the agency to, carry out a creative vision. And it's interesting because most of my career as an actor, I've worked with pretty much exclusively female directors, and I respond to
Mm.
to female directors a lot better. Do you ever think, Olivia, that you would be interested in directing or expanding into other areas of the business like Lindsay has?
Definitely. You know, when I started my career, as I sang as a dancer, I owned a dance school and I was a full-time teacher. I have a long history of choreographing, live stage shows, music videos, fashion shows, photo shoots. So I love being behind the camera. And I wrote, produced, directed a short film a couple years ago. I really enjoy the entire creative process. I always kind of use the analogy, you guys will totally understand this. I love the analogy of how it's a jigsaw puzzle and the puzzles are just like all over the place and you have to take the time to put it together. And even though at times it can feel so overwhelming, then you see it start to take form and it's so exciting. And then getting to work with the other people to collaborate with them and have their vision collide with your vision. Like I just love all of that. So yeah, that is definitely something that I have in my mind for down the pipeline as, we continue on this journey
Yeah.
as a performer.
I do you know if Lifetime does like an apprenticeship for upcoming like female like directors?
I don't know. I have not thought about it.
Uh,
I don't
We'll
know.
add it to our pitch with the
yeah,
sequel.
Excellent.
one of
Yeah.
the woman who was the lead in the Lifetime movie I was in, Crystal Lowe, she just did an apprenticeship over at Hallmark where she apprenticed on a Tia Mowry movie, and I was like so jealous.
Oh,
I'm like, Tia
wow.
Mowry,
So
and it was
fun.
called like Dance Moms or something. So actually, you would have been perfect for it, Olivia. But yeah, I wonder if Lifetime is going to be doing something like that. That would be very cool to kind of see it. And so she just apprenticed another female director, and they're like trying to lift each other up. So yeah,
That's
We love that.
awesome. And I love that too. Yeah, it's so cool to work together and lift each other up and like again, even going back to that theme of jealousy, like it's so not what we do anymore, I find, as women in this industry. It's so counterproductive. Back in the day we did definitely because there was only that one spot and there was no room, but now there's room and we're making more space. So I love that example of working together, lifting each other
Yeah,
up, and
absolutely. I do
more of
find
that.
in all my experiences with women, and I primarily do theater and music, but every single person, every single woman is always like, oh, yeah, yeah, let me tell you about this. And actually, you should go work with him. And this person, like, every fellow female colleague I've ever experienced has been nothing but helpful. Which leads me to I need to know about Wonder Woman. You
Yes.
were an Amazon, a stunt person on Wonder Woman, and what was that like being with like just hordes of incredibly talented, athletic women?
This is a great topic connection,
Hmm.
like segue. Because like even speaking about female directors, Patty Jenkins, like so amazing. What an incredible director she is as well. Um, that was a really so I was on Wonder Woman for I'd say about 10 months,
Wow.
because the audition process took 2 months to do. And then as an Amazon, I had to go through training. We all did. Um, and that was what they called Amazon boot camp, and it lasted for like 6 months. And I lived in England for 5 years. So this was when I was living in London, that I auditioned for this role. And they auditioned something like 900 to 1,000 women, and by the end of it there was 20 of us, so we were the 20 casted Amazons that went on to filming. And it quite honestly, it was a life-changing experience for me, obviously for the professional sense, but in the other sense of my relationship with other women and opening myself up to like female friendships, because for a long time I was like quite closed off, just with from negative experiences. Like I was bullied a lot as a kid, and so I just never really had any good female friends. And then Wonder Woman comes along and I'm training with these incredible women every single day for like 6 hours a day, and the next thing you know, like we're all just best friends and sisters, and I'm like, what is happening? And it really helped me reshape my relationship with female friends and girl power, and the power of what happens when you come together and you work together and cheer each other on. I mean, that's all we did for 10 months was root for each other, and we still do. They're all still in London, but they're actors and dancers and models, and every time they book something, we have like a WhatsApp group chat and we're like, "Hey, congratulations." like, just saw you booked this, where it's super important. So
That's so cool.
yeah, I could go on and on. It was just that was an incredible year of my life. It was wonderful.
And it's also so cool to be a part of. I mean, just like those scenes with the Amazon women are are something that we hadn't really seen before in film. And like, there's
Mm-mm.
it's so cool for me as like an old crusty woman to see, but I would imagine so cool for like girls coming up seeing this on their movie screens, TV screens, iPad screens for the little ones. And like, this is just
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
reality now, is like women are strong and cool and can do all these amazing, wonderful things.
It's so true. And I think that was after it came out, one of the coolest things was having people reach out to me, like friends and family saying, "Hey, can you like get on a FaceTime with my niece, or can you send me like an autograph photo of like for my grandkid?" Or, for these young girls, and then seeing the Halloween costumes and friends and family taking pictures and sending me their like 6-year-old in a Wonder Woman costume. And I mean, that has power. That really, really has
So
power.
cool.
Um, that was incredibly rewarding, because you think of it as we were thinking of it as we were filming it. We were like, how cool is this going to be when it comes out? And then it comes out and you see the effect and you're like, oh my God, that was huge. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, well, it seemed like it was like a pivotal moment for you, especially like coming into your own power as a woman
totally.
and an artist, a female artist, and giving you perspective on like the projects that you're pursuing for your career, because you have done some really amazing work. Not just in the Lifetime movie that we love, but like there's just so many great roles that you've accumulated into your
Yeah.
catalog. There is one that I wanted to ask about, because we usually advocate for for our favorite Lifetime stars to do a Christmas movie, but you've already done a Christmas movie where you played a same-sex couple.
Mhm.
And Kathleen, I brought you the synopsis because I just want you to hear the synopsis because
I can't wait.
it's iconic.
I
It's
can't wait.
It's
amazing.
adorable.
It's called Looking for Her.
Oh,
Okay, I know. I haven't seen it. It came out last Christmas. And the synopsis is as follows. Taylor is headed home for the holidays, and her family is finally ready to meet her girlfriend Jess. But Jess isn't her girlfriend anymore. So Taylor holds open auditions for someone to play the part for the holidays.
oh my goodness. And I have a feeling they really fall in love, even though it was just a role. Oh, wow.
Yep. Art imitates life. Or is it vice versa? I don't know, but you know what I mean.
I
Yes.
love it.
Did you watch it?
For I haven't watched it yet, but I am definitely going to.
Next on my
I
list.
think it's going to come out. So we released it right before the holidays, but then it got bought up by a distributor who was going to re-release it this coming holiday.
Okay.
So we don't know where it's going to go quite yet. I think right now you can rent it. Yeah, you can rent it right now, but it'll be on a streamer this coming holiday. But the filmmaker of that, her name is Ali Smorens, and this is the second film I've done with her. The first film I did with her was one of my first movies back in 2018, and it was also it was her first feature film as a director. And she's just been climbing up, up and up. And this was like her big one. Totally funded, investors, distributor, like really big deal for her. And we've also just become very, very good friends. She was at my wedding a few months ago, and
Oh,
she's so
awesome.
incredibly talented. Yeah, she's fantastic.
I
And
love it so
and
much.
yeah, she's got a wonderful mission, and she's an incredible artist. And the movie's so cute. It's so fun. I
Right?
love it.
It's like everyone's so worried about the gays being in Christmas movies. I'm like, what do you think's gonna happen at Christmas with the gays? We're just gonna be decorating and having fun,
Yeah.
like everybody else.
No, that if there's anything the world needs, it's just more gay Christmas movies.
And
100%.
lesbians get a bad rap at Christmas. Okay, we don't talk about the lesbian Christmas movies nearly enough.
No.
We
There was
don't.
the one with Kristen Stewart that was so good. But yeah, we need more.
Yes,
We need
Yes.
more.
we need more.
More
We want
lesbian.
more.
Especially
Yeah.
because one of my favorite things about Lifetime movies and Hallmark movies, especially the Christmas ones, are the impeccable hair and makeup. And if we can get double hair and makeup on two ladies, yes, please.
I will say, in looking for her, my character is very almost quite similar to what's the name of my character again? Darcy, very similar to Darcy.
Like, I don't know.
Um, very like career driven and but Taylor's very well put together, and the makeup artist on it was so talented. So my face is just like flawless in every single shot. Like she did such a good job. I was so excited. But then Olive, who plays the actor, she is very disheveled. So it's a really fun contrast, but you will not be disappointed.
Oh, but I
Ooh,
bet there's
tell
a
us.
makeover
There's our
scene.
makeover
Is there a
montage.
makeover scene?
No, there's
Ugh.
no makeover
You're
montage.
telling me we have to
Well,
love people for who they are.
yeah,
Darn it.
yeah.
Yeah.
What we don't, we need a makeover, or maybe an audition montage. There's definitely a montage in there.
There is an audition montage, which is very entertaining.
That is like my second favorite montage. It's like a makeover montage and then an audition montage. Like I just watch Pitch Perfect, the first part of it, like all the time.
I also love a self improvement montage, like the Elle Woods
Oh,
Legally Blonde one. We're gonna buy a computer. We're gonna start studying, and I like it to be done over one inspirational song. I
preferably by
really need that
Hoku.
in my life. Yeah.
We need Hoku only, please.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh, it's so true.
Olivia, what else is coming up for you? I guess, we've kind of touched on Christmas. Christmas movie is coming out
Yeah.
officially. You can stream it now, but what do you have working on, or what can you tell us that is in development?
So there's another film that's coming out that I don't know what it's going to be on. Um that's going to be called Cheer Drama Murder. I
Ooh, yes. That sounds
Yes,
amazing.
it is
Yeah,
excellent.
I love all those things.
Yes, all those things. So true. Um, that was an absolute blast, but that definitely has some familiar faces. Brittany Goodwin is in it. If she's a
Yeah.
lifetimer. And it was directed by Dylan Vox, who's done a lot.
Hmm.
So we don't know when that's coming out, but it hopefully is soon because I'm dying to see it. And then I have a film that just came out on Tubi 2 weeks ago. That's very gritty, kind of film noir thriller. I'm the anti-heroine type of character. And that's called Toxic Impulses. So
Ooh.
that's a fun one, very different. And I
Yeah.
think that's it right now. Yeah,
That's enough,
it's good.
Olivia. That's plenty.
Sounds exciting.
You're doing the thing.
We're all doing the things. We're all trying.
Well, it has been so fun chatting with you.
You too.
We are so glad that we got to connect. I think we were like an Instagram, we were Instagram friends. We're like, let's do it, which is the best way I find to see if you like vibe, and you're like, are we getting along? I think we are.
Yeah.
Do you have any, speaking of Instagram, social medias you'd like to plug or any stuff like that?
Yeah, I do.
Where can
So
people find you?
so my Instagram is at Olivia Deanne, Deanne. And then I don't know if this is of interest to anybody, but I also help run a nonprofit out in LA. And that is called the Shoebox Project. So we can find more information on that too if anyone's interested in kind of getting involved in. I run the Los Angeles chapter, but for listeners anywhere, they for the major cities across the states all have chapter coordinators. I do LA. And if anyone wants to get involved in their community, then that's kind of a fun way to start. It's a nonprofit that helps women who are impacted by homelessness.
So you can dance, are gorgeous, great at acting, and also a philanthropist. Cool.
Cool.
Right.
Great. Great.
No pressure,
I
Kathleen. No
I
pressure.
really am feeling like a slacker here today.
Right? Jeez, we just do a podcast.
I know.
Your podcast is excellent because I have been listening to it nonstop ever since I found you guys. So
Oh, good.
thank you for all that you do. 'Cause it keeps me entertained
Uh,
when I'm sitting in LA traffic, which is always
right, all the
all the
time,
time.
of course. Kathleen, how about you? Anything for pluggy time?
Oh, yeah. I'm Kathleen Sings Stuff on Instagram and TikTok. Also, if anyone's in New York, on Tuesday the 16th from 10 to midnight, I'm playing at Haswell Greens in Times Square.
Oh,
Taking all your
nice.
requests, baby. Singing all the pop covers. So
I love it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I want to go.
It's very
Yeah, I'm
fun.
like, what do I want to request? What do I want Kathleen to sing? Well, great. You can find me at Patrick Miguel, and I don't really have anything coming up. Bramblefest is coming, so if you're going to go to that in Greenville, South Carolina, I will be there as a featured person, so that's fun. And yeah, I guess we'll see you in the next episode, whenever that comes out. Okay, that's it for now. Bye.
Bye.